In this lesson, we're going to talk about 4 very important elements of the English pronunciation. English learners often pay a lot of attention to sounds and putting those sounds into words, but this is actually just one of the 4 pillars that make the English pronunciation. So in this video, we're going to talk about the 4 pillars of English pronunciation. So the first one, and we've already mentioned it, is sounds. Okay, and of course, in English, we have a lot of sounds that don't exist in other languages. A great example of that is the vowel sounds in English. Almost every learner of English has problems pronouncing vowel sounds in English. Why? Well, because the 5 vowels we have, A, E, I, O, and U, can be pronounced in 19 ways in British English and, if you remember from our previous videos, 21 ways in American English. And this is just the standard British and the standard American English accents. Then there are dialects and other types of English accents that really add to the complexity. And it's not only the vowel sounds, it's also the English consonants. And I'm not only talking here about the lack of correspondence between spelling and sound. Yeah, for example, the letters CH could be pronounced in 6 different ways in English, but also about combinations of consonants that are together. For example, in words such as strength. These combinations of consonants are called consonant clusters. So basically, these clusters, these mixes of consonants, can also present a major pronunciation challenge for English learners. But all of this is only the first pillar, pillar number 1 of the English pronunciation, sounds. But we have 3 more very important aspects of English pronunciation. The second one is word stress. And in here, let me play a little game with you. I'm going to show you 3 words on the screen. Have a look and think where you put the stress in these words. What do we mean by stress? It means the place where you put special emphasis inside the word. In here, we've got a word with 2 syllables, 3 syllables, and 4 syllables. You need to think which syllable in each of these words receives the special emphasis. In other words, which syllable is stressed here? Have a think. And now let's check. So the first one is hotel. A very difficult word for a lot of students, even advanced ones. First of all, we put the emphasis, the stress, on the second syllable in this word, hotel. And then, did you hear how I pronounced the vowel in the first syllable of hotel? It's an O sound. This sound doesn't exist in a lot of languages. It consists of 2 separate sounds, O and U. O, and this is exactly how we need to pronounce the word hotel. Right, the second one, perspective. Did you hear where I put the stress here? It's also on the second syllable, perspective. And finally, the word with 4 syllables here. Where would you put the stress? Listen and check. Necessary. Necessary. Where's the stress? The first syllable this time. Lots and lots of students are putting the stress on the third syllable in necessary, but that's completely incorrect. And it's a very big mistake because what native speakers do when they listen to you is that they pay a lot of attention to where you put the stress in words. It guides them in their understanding of what you are saying. And word stress is our pillar number 2 of the English pronunciation. Now the next one can be a bit surprising because it normally doesn't work like this in other languages. And here I'm talking about sentence stress. Now sentence stress is different from word stress. In word stress, we think about syllables and the most important syllable inside a word. In sentence stress, in comparison, we are talking about the most important word in a sentence. Let me show you on an example. Have a look at this sentence. How would you say it? In normal, everyday English, we'd simply say, you and I are walking there together. And there is no problem in pronouncing the sentence like this. However, in English, we can put emphasis on any word inside a sentence and this way change the meaning of what we're saying. So let me show you. In here, we've got 7 words. Each of these words can be stressed, and with each of these words stressed, the meaning of the sentence is going to change. For example, I can say, you and I are walking there together. This means that it's not anyone else, but you. You and I are walking there together. Yeah, don't even think about somebody else replacing you. You and I are walking there together. I can also put the stress on and say, you and I are walking there together. So, you're not walking alone. I am walking with you. You and I are walking there together. I could also put the emphasis on myself inside this sentence and say, you and I are walking there together. So you're not walking with anyone else. You're walking with me. You and I are walking there together. Another way of putting emphasis here would be to emphasize that we have no choice and put the stress on are in this sentence and say, you and I are walking there together. So don't even think about not going because we are. You and I are walking there together. Yet another way would be to emphasize the way of traveling there and say, you and I are walking there together. We're not driving or running or jogging or going by bike. We are walking there together. You and I are walking there together. You could also emphasize your destination and say, you and I are walking there together. So we're not walking where those people are going, we're walking there together. So in this case, there is no doubt as to where we're walking. And finally, we could emphasize the word together, putting stress on the fact that we're not going to be walking there alone. You and I are walking there together. So you're not walking alone, I'm not walking alone, we're doing that together. So all of this shows us that sentence stress plays a very important role in English pronunciation. Choosing to put the stress on one word rather than a different one in the sentence completely changes its meaning. And if you think about it, it's very curious because teachers generally tell us when they teach English that words such as pronouns, auxiliary verbs, modal verbs, prepositions, or articles don't receive any stress in English. And that's true unless they are important to the meaning of the sentence. This is what sentence stress is all about. Now, before we move on to the final part of this lesson, I wanted to let you know that if you'd really like to improve your pronunciation, you should consider joining my online learning community, Your English Upgrade. Your English Upgrade is a wonderful place if you want to improve your pronunciation and other skills, and join me learning English on one of the 2 weekly webinars that are available to any member of the community. When you become a member of Your English Upgrade, you immediately gain access to pronunciation hacks, a full pronunciation hacks course that I've designed that will help you sound better and more confident in English. And to push you even further, there are 2 weekly challenges for pronunciation practice that will really make you improve the way you speak. And there are other courses on the platform that are just waiting for you to click on and improve your English step by step. And, of course, you can download all the PDFs and audio practice files that go with this video and any other video that I post on YouTube. The link to the community is in the description. I'll see you there. So what do you think is the fourth pillar? We talked about sounds, we talked about word stress and sentence stress. So what's the fourth missing link? It's intonation. In other words, it's the way you use your voice, going up or down with it. This is really important because while in general people are tolerant towards mistakes in grammar, vocabulary or pronunciation, they generally have no tolerance when it comes to mistakes in intonation. Let me explain. While intonation, of course, is about going up or down with your voice, it's also about expressing emotions through your voice. For instance, if I wanted to thank you for something and I said, "Thank you," would you be encouraged or feel good about me thanking you? Probably not. And what if I apologized to you in the following way? Sorry. Would you feel it was a genuine apology? No, you wouldn't. My sentences would be perfectly grammatical, thank you and sorry. In theory, there should be no problem understanding my meaning. But in both of these situations, you could have felt really angry or offended because I used incorrect intonation. And yes, if I use incorrect intonation, it doesn't really matter if I'm a beginner or an advanced student of English. I'm going to be treated in exactly the same way by my audience. So basically, mistakes in intonation are one of the most serious ones you can make when speaking English. So there you have it, the 4 pillars of English pronunciation. Sounds, word stress, sentence stress, and intonation. Now it's really important that when you practice pronunciation, you take all these 4 pillars into account. Focusing only on sounds and putting them into words is a good thing, but it's not nearly enough. When you want to develop great pronunciation habits, you need to practice these sounds and words inside phrases and sentences, paying attention not only to those sounds, but also to the stress inside the words and to the stress inside the sentence. And of course, not forgetting about the importance of intonation. So next time you practice a word, pay attention to where it's stressed, put it inside a sentence, and when you say the sentence, make sure that your voice reflects the meaning you want to get across. Taking all these factors into account will really improve your overall confidence and fluency when speaking English. If you've got that far in the video and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please hit that subscribe button and make sure you get all the updates about the latest pronunciation videos I release. And if you have more time and energy, above all energy, to practice more pronunciation today, check out one of these 2 videos and I'll see you there.